Shabbat Shalom, Akim. Shabbat Shalom. All right, before we get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, so y'all know I made a video a few days ago about Purim, okay, which today is Purim, okay, and it's also the Shabbat, okay. So I just kind of want to go over a few things here that I found out, okay. So as you can see on your screen, there's a depiction of Esther, okay. Just so y'all who are new to the channel, the Israelites of the Bible are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Okay, Esther was from the tribe of Benjamin, okay, which would be of the southern kingdom. So you have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the so-called Negroid tribes. Okay, so she did have dark skin like this. Okay, and of course you'll see Esau, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man. He'll end up painting Esther as a white woman, and everybody around as white people. Every period of history in their Bible shows them as white people, which is false. Okay. But anyway, like I said in my last video during Purim, okay, there's basically brothers out there. We're in our captivity here in Babylon the Great, but we can still rehearse the righteous acts, which is what we're doing, okay? So just read the book of Esther, all right? To the best of your ability, go ahead and read it and think about these times and how the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, has saved us from our enemies during this period, man. We were under the Medo-Persian Empire, okay, who we were subject unto them. All right, but the Lord showed great favor unto Jacob, Jacob, Yasharallah, Israel, okay, through Esther, using Esther, who pleased the king so well that basically said he'll do anything for her, up to half the kingdom, and so Esther, asked that, Haman, who's the main bad guy in the story, the guy that's basically trying to destroy Israel, okay, basically trying to genocide us, and he almost got away with it, but the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, had different plans. And so she told King, I forget how you pronounce his name, Ahurius something, I don't even know. We'll see it. We'll go into the scripture and you'll see. But basically the main king, she told him, to put Haman to death, and the king said, done. Basically, they had Haman executed, and all his children too. So his bloodline right there got cut off. You see, if I'm not mistaken, Haman was an Edomite. Okay, so as you can see, that perpetual hatred. But basically, this is a time to rejoice and celebrate, and and think upon those times of what happened during the book of Esther, which is similar to what happened during Egypt, right? That's where we get the Passover, okay? And then also, you can read the book of the Maccabees and see that there was also a Maccabean rebellion, okay, where the Lord showed us tremendous favor. So basically, I just want to get right into this quick lesson, because I just learned that, you got the book of Esther here, okay? As you can see, the last chapter in the book of Esther is chapter 10, and it finishes with verse 3, okay? So, of course, any normal person would be like, okay, something's up here, because no chapter in the Bible, unless we're talking about Psalms, has only 3 verses, right? Something's up. So basically, yeah, they removed part of that and put it in the Apocrypha, which most Bibles today have removed the Apocrypha as well. So you go to this book in the Apocrypha, which those of you don't know, is this little red book you can buy online. But if you don't have access to it, you can go to to the King James Bible website and basically, like I'm doing here, go to Additions to Esther. And then there you can see chapter 10 and then the fourth verse, which was missing from here. So yeah, you would continue to read that. But I thought that after you read Esther, you just keep going. Like, you read 10, you read 11, you read 12, but that's not true. There's a certain order of these chapters, and it just so happens that the 10th chapter finishes off with a last, or starts off with a last where Esther left off, right? So basically, I'm going to show y'all how to read this, and the way I found out was with that little red book. If you read the physical little red book, you see this is verse 4, which starts with the rest of Esther, okay, which is what this title is kind of cut off. It says the rest of the book of Esther starts with chapter 10 verse 4, and it goes down in the chapter 11 verse 1, okay, which, yeah, you would read it to here. This is the last part of the book. But then if you read the next part, verse 2 on down, 13, 12, 13, 14, all these chapters here, it doesn't make sense because it feels like the story's starting over again. And what I found out is, let me just show you a couple more, okay? And it tells you where these parts fit into the original book of Esther. So you would fit in this chunk right here after chapter 4 verse 17 of Esther, okay? And a lot of you might think, well, damn, that's kind of tedious. And yeah, I understand, but much study is the weariness of the flesh, right? As the scriptures say, we have to do the work so we can rightly divide the word of truth. So those of you you saw my last video, this is an update. I'm going to tell you how to read the book of Esther, okay? So you don't want to read it one book and then go into the Apocrypha and read it like that, because it won't make sense. So basically, I'm going to show you here in a second. Here we go. So this is how to read the full book of Esther. You're going to start off with the rest of Esther, or as it calls it here, Additions to Esther, and you're going to go to chapter 11 and verse 2. So we're going to go here, and we're going to start with chapter 11, and you're going to skip the first verse. You're going to start with verse 2. In the second year of the reign of Artaxerxes the Great, in the first day of the month Nisan, Mordecaius, which is Mordecai, right? Remember, the Apocrypha is written in Greek. The Old Testament of the Bible is written in Hebrew. So some of the names are going to sound different, but you could tell Mordecai, it's the same person, right? The son, and I think Artaxerxes is the same guy right here. King Ahasuerus is Artaxerxes. So anyway, not to get off track, the son of Jairus, the son of Semi, the son of Kasai, of the tribe of Benjamin, had a dream. Okay, so this is how the book of Esther should start. Okay, not with chapter 1. Let's get it here. Let's go here real quick. Not with chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus. Okay, because this skipped the first part of the story, which was a dream that Mordecai had about this whole thing that's about to play out. Okay, so going back here, you would read the rest of Esther, chapter 11, verse 2, through chapter 12 and verse 6. Then you start with Esther, chapter 1. Okay, so that's how you're going to read the book of Esther. Okay, those of you out there that don't have access to this little red book, go ahead and write it down on a piece of paper or screenshot it, okay? I'll move the mouse. Go ahead and screenshot that now. Pause the video, screenshot it. So yeah, so you'll be able to get the full understanding of what happened, okay? As we know, the devil, Esau Edom, has done all he could to hide this story from us, just like he tried to hide the story of the Maccabean rebellion. Okay, where we overcame him when he had us in captivity in the Greek Empire, right? Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai raised up a spirit of rebellion for us to go against him, okay? Not to say that we should do that now, because now we have to wait for Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai to rise to the prey, okay? Because this is a different captivity. This is our final captivity here in America, also known as Babylon the Great, all right? So basically just read through this, all right? This is how we're going to celebrate Purim today. Go ahead and read, Salakia, go ahead and read the full story of Esther with your Apocrypha and your regular Bible, and you're going to go back and forth, and then you'll get the full understanding, okay? And then of course, the last verse is the rest of Esther's 11 and verse 1, that one that we skipped earlier. So very simple. And I actually want to read like a quick, part of this that was removed, so you can see why it was removed. It makes perfect sense why Esau, Edom, our enemy, the devil, would want to remove this so that we don't have knowledge of this, man. All right, we're going to go to additions to Esther. Let's start with regular Esther, okay? Let's see here. What are we at here? This is 13. Give me 1 second. All right, so we're going to read from Esther 3, 1 through 13, okay? And it says, after these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. Okay, so this Haman guy got a promotion from the king. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman. Okay, so this Haman guy liked to be worshipped. That's part of the story. If you read, these chapters here, it says, for the king had so commanded concerning him. Okay, so King Ahasuerus also commanded. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Okay, and this is, we're not supposed to bow down to anyone but Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, so, Mordecai did right here. All right, we're not supposed to worship other gods or men. All right. Verse 3, then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, why transgresseth thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand. For he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. All right. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Mordecai is Esther's cousin. Okay. So, yeah, verse 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. See? So basically right there, all right, we were facing impending doom as the Israelites. And, right now, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's getting ready to do the same thing through Jacob's trouble, all right, by releasing all these immigrants that he's brought over, which aren't even immigrants. Some of them are, but most of them are agents and, soldiers and, UN troops that they brought in from all parts of the world. And they're basically going to have those guys commit chaos here in America, so that they can bring order out of chaos, which is the MOTB, the microchip that goes in the right hand or the forehead. Okay, not to mention they're going to also mix that in with this new disease that they're going to be putting out here. All right. And then the new jump shot that they're also going to put out here. Okay. So there's going to, they're getting ready to come down on us, Jews and Israelites, with great wrath. All right. This is all to destroy us, just like Haman tried to destroy us back then. All right. See the relation here? So now, throughout this days of Purim, read this story and relate it, in your head to what's going on now, and know that Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, is going to save us from our enemy Esau, just like he saved us from Haman. All right? So to continue, it says, verse 7, in the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is the lot before Haman, from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. You see, because we, the Israelites, the Lord set us apart. Okay, so right there, even our enemies are saying, that we're different, okay, from all nations, okay? And of course, Esau, Edom counts as one of the nations, being the most wicked. Okay, it says, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. So right there, you got Haman conspiring with the king to destroy the Israelites, which really Haman himself is the one who convinced him. Of course, the Lord through Haman, because that's the left-hand side, all right, of the Lord. Okay, just like he's doing now with Esau. Okay. Verse 9, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasury. See? So he's willing to pay all these people off to kill the Israelites, man. And what else is fucking new? You see, ain't nothing new under the sun, Yasharallah. Our enemies doing the same thing today. Did y'all hear about that story? How they're putting crack pipes in the hood and little baggies? That shit's all over the internet, man. All right? And those of you just getting wind of this shit, hey, you're late, because they've been doing this shit since the hoods became hoods, man. They've been putting drugs in the community. All right? They've been putting guns in the community. All right? Paying certain people off, to push that product there. Why? Because it's all about keeping Jake down, man. Why do you think they pay these rappers billions of dollars? Okay, we know the handlers of those rappers are the JEWs, right? But they're hiding behind the scenes, and they pay these so-called black people, your heroes, your idols, to sing music to you about killing and destroying your own people, doing drugs, being whores, being gangbangers. Okay, why does the so-called white man do that? To destroy you. Just like he was planning to destroy you back then through Haman, by paying people off. Hey, he's still paying people off today. All right? Verse 10, and the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also to do with them as it seemeth good to thee. Then, so there the king had agreed with him. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month. And there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of King Ahasuerus, as was it written, and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces, to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews. All right, and this is exactly what they're doing with this whole migrant thing, man. There's not migrants from Mexico. It's migrants from all over the world who are staying in these 5-star hotels, basically paid agents to wreak havoc over here, man, to cause chaos. Okay? Exactly what was happening back then. Boom, that's what they're doing now. But they're not going to succeed, man. It's going to be the same story over again, man. Haman's going to get hung, right? Esau, you're going to get destroyed, All right. But this time it's going to be death by pain, the nuclear missiles, man. All right. And you 2/3. All right. You 2/3 who worship your oppressor, you're going to die right alongside with them. All right. And you'll learn after death by pain. You'll be in the kingdom. All right. But Esau, you're going to be a slave. You're going to be destroyed. That's your lot. That's what you can look forward to, since you want to do all these things behind the scenes and think the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, ain't watching. All right, because he is watching. Verse 13, and the letters were sent by posts into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to take the spoil of them for prey. And that's funny, because that's exactly what's going to come back on Esau's head. Does not the scriptures say in one day shall these, let's get that real quick. Well, we have this here. Revelation 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Speaking of Babylon the Great, America, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, who judgeth her. See? All right? Because this is what you intended to do, Esau. So that's what's going to happen to you. All right? Now, after reading this about the letter, let's read 14. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day. But, I'm sure a lot of you will want to know, well, what was written? See, it's not in the book of Esther. You have to go to the Apocrypha, the part which was removed. And then you can see, okay, right here, chapter 3 of Esther, 1 through 13. Then you go to the rest of Esther, chapter 13, verse 1 through 7, is the continuation of that. All right, so let's go there. Chapter 13, or I'm sorry. There we go, 13. Okay, and what does it say? The copy of the letter was this. So see, it leaves off at that 13th verse in the regular book of Esther. So additions to Esther, chapter 13, verse 1. The copy of the letters was this. The great king Artaxerxes, right, which is Ahasuerus that we read here, okay, writeth these things to the princes and governors that are under him from India unto Ethiopia, okay, which again, this is the Medo-Persian Empire we're talking about, in 127 provinces. After that, I became Lord over many nations, and had dominion over the whole world, not lifted up with presumption of my authority, but carrying myself away with equity and mildness. I proposed to settle my subjects continually in a quiet life, and making my kingdom peaceable and open for passage to the utmost coasts, to renew peace, which is desired of all men. All right. And of course, we know Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is not with that peace doctrine. And to this day, these nations and Esau, they have the same message. It's all about peace and, getting along, everybody holding hands. All right. Which we know Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is not about that. He's about order. All right. Which actually these heathens belong under us. This is what the scriptures speak about, right? And in the kingdom, they're going to be our slaves, okay? And that's proper order, all right? Not everybody holding fucking hands, all right? We're not going to be holding hands with Esau, all right? So you Israelites out there that want to save Esau and the nations, hey, fuck you, man. You're going to be destroyed. You need to get out of that mindset, all right? Because these people just want to destroy us, man, and keep us down forever. Don't listen to that peace bullshit, man. All right? We're greater than them, so we need to be over them. That's order, man. The same thing with this whole woman worship doctrine. All right, they want the man and the woman to be equal, but we know the man is superior to the woman. So the woman has to be subject to the man in order for there to be proper order and for society to flourish. Okay, that's why you have a dying population, man. There's this whole woman worship bullshit here in America. All right. So as you can see, there will never be peace on earth until the Lord's people are ruling the earth. Israel, Yasharallah, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, that's when there's going to be peace on earth. All right. Verse 3. Now, when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Ammon, which is Haman, right, from the book of Esther, Haman, that excelled in wisdom among us and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity, and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom, declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world there were scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations, and continually despised the commandments of kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. You see, these nations have always wanted to unite from the beginning. Look at the Tower of Babel, okay? And the Lord split them up because the Lord is not about that uniting bullshit, man. Israel is supposed to rule over all nations. That's the proper order. But these nations, they hate us, man. As you can see, you know, the way this guy talks, this Haman and this king, who are of one accord at this time in this scripture, basically the way they're speaking is as if, you know, almost like everybody should come together against the Israelites, which is exactly what's going on here. And we can get that in Psalms. I think it's Psalms 83. Okay? It talks about the Lord's enemies, man. All right? Psalms 83, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Okay? Thine enemies. So the Lord has enemies, man, because the Lord is with Israel. All right, or Israel is with the Lord. So, you know, the Lord's enemies are our enemies. Okay, tumult, a loud, confused noise. Okay, an uproar, a commotion, a ruckus. Okay, a large mass of people, right? They making this tumult. Okay, they have taken crafty counsel. All right, exactly like what Haman's doing. He's being very sneaky and sly in the words he speaks and trying to convince the king that we're the devil and that he's good and that, you know, we need to be destroyed, right? It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Because you don't know that you're the real Israelites. That's why you're hidden. You see? Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Here are the Lord's enemies, the tabernacles of Edom, which Edom is Esau, the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites. Who's the Ishmaelites? The Arabs, all right? Moab, the Chinese, okay? Then you got the Hagarenes, Jabal. Ammon is the Japanese. Amalek, which is the chief tribe of Esau. They're the most wicked of them all. They call themselves today the JEWs. You know, they stole our identity, as they did with the Greeks in the time of the Greeks. There were actually Greeks there before them, all right? And they changed their identity to that, right? But doesn't the book of Genesis say that Cain will be a vagabond on the earth and a fugitive? You know, that's exactly what he's doing. Esau, Edom, the white man. He is stealing everybody's identity, man. And then he took our identity, the Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, right, and made the people in the scripture white like him. You see? It made them light skinned, which is not true. They're dark skinned, right? We got this depiction right here. This is what Esther actually looked like, man. All right. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. All right, which this prophecy has happened because that's exactly what they're doing. All nations are together with Esau, Edom being the leader. Okay, all right, and Amalek is the leader of Esau. So you got Amalek, Esau, and these nations following behind Esau, all together to destroy the Israelites. You see? Exactly what's going on with Haman over here. Verse 4, declared unto us that all nations throughout the world, there was a certain malicious people, speaking of the Jews, that had laws contrary to all nations. Okay? So right there, he's painting a picture for everybody to come against the Israelites, as if we're a threat to this world peace. All right? When really, how can we be a threat since we're always at the bottom serving slavery? You see? That's why the scriptures say the world is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Who are the judges? The Israelites. How does he cover our faces? By painting them white. You see? Yeah, and we hate the commandments of kings because they don't do according to the laws of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, these are the laws we have to follow, not the commandments of kings. You see? So as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. Yeah, because when we're in power, they can't go forward. All right, but we weren't in power at that time. All right, but even then, in our horrible estate, you know, Esau will see you in the hood, you know, reading the Bible, you know, and you know, living in a beat up apartment, and he'll still think about, man, we gotta take this guy out. He's a threat. You know, when really the real threat, the real problem in this world is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And that's why all these nations over there are starting to figure that the fuck out. That you're the problem on the earth, Esau. Everywhere you go, you cause poverty, pollution, destruction. You bomb people just for not agreeing with you. See, you're the devil, man. You're the devil the Bible speaks of. Bombing all these other nations, you know, who want to do things their way, and you gotta put your tentacles in everybody's business, man. And that's why the Lord said in that this Esau is gonna be destroyed, man. An assembly, he will send an assembly of great nations from the north country. Who's the north country? Russia. Russia is gonna lead the charge with all these other nations against Babylon, which is America. For lo, this is Jeremiah 15 verse 9. For lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. You see, an assembly of great nations. All right? A tumult. So you can have a bunch of countries come together against this devil. All right, just like they intend to do against Israel, it's going to be done to them, man. All right, from thence shall she be taken. And you're going to get taken. Virgin daughter of Babylon will be touched, and there's nothing you can do about it. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. What type of arrows is that talking about? It's talking about nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. Because these arrows go from one end of the earth to the other. All right, spoken of by 2nd Esdras. All right. 2nd Esdras 16 and 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. What type of arrow can go from one end of the earth to the other? Only a nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile, which Russia can shoot all the way over here, and it can hit Florida in less than 15 minutes. You see? Or within 30 minutes, but much sooner. That's fucking fast, man. How long will it take a plane to get over there? It take a long ass time. All right? And the right hand represents Yahweh Shai. All right? The right hand of the Father is Yahweh Shai. All right? Who we know is going to come to judge the world. He's not coming to give hugs and kisses, man, like the Christian church wants to say. Let's go to Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, will come with fire and with his chariots. The UFOs that you see, those are actually the chariots of the Lord. All right, the vehicles. Like a whirlwind. What does a whirlwind do? To destroy. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Those are the flames of fire that are going to be coming from those arrows that come from one end of the earth to the other. Especially for you, Esau, Edom, to destroy you forever. All right? Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. This man's kingdom is going down very soon. All right? And during Purim, all right, it's a time to celebrate. All right, what happened, okay, back then, because that's what's going to happen now, man. That's what's getting ready to happen, man. The elect of Yasharallah is getting ready to be saved by our power. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? So, yeah, stay circumspect and vigilant, okay? But during these couple days of Purim, you know, be glad, as the scriptures say. And read this book. Read the book of Esther. It's great. Like I said, read it like this. Okay? Read it like this. All right? And if you find it hard to read, hey, listen to audio. All right? And then just cut off the audio when you have to read these. Read these back to the audio for the book of Esther. It's not that hard. And it's going to be really edifying, Yasharallah. So let's continue where we left off. Okay? Speaking about the Jews here, verse 5, seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men. All right, and it's true. We don't agree with any of you nations. To hell with all of you, man, because you're going to be beneath us, okay? But this is how they feel about you, Yasharallah. So those of you out there that keep trying to save the so-called white man and these nations, saying the Lord came for everybody, stop it, because he didn't. All right? He didn't. He came for Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. That's who he came for. Okay? Differing in the strange manner of their laws and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established. Yeah, and he calls us mischievous. Just like he says that, he talks all that shit about, Jakes in the hood, talking about how we commit the most crime. But at the end of the day, who's making us commit the crime? You see, Esau, we're starting to figure out your tricks, man. You planted the drugs there. You planted your offices there. You planted all these different set up all these systems to keep Jake enslaved. And how do you keep him enslaved? You putting them back behind bars. Because you don't want them to build themselves up and become a nation again. You're afraid of that. All you nations are, man. But your time has come. All right? We got one more ass whooping. Jacob's trouble. But after that, hey, all Israelites going to be above your ass. And ain't nothing you could do about it, you damn snakes. And the elect's going to be saved out of it. So if you have the elect, you ain't got nothing to worry about. All right? We'll be tried. We'll be tried, man. Don't get me wrong. But we ain't got nothing to worry about. Therefore, have we command that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Ammon, who is ordained over the affairs and is next unto us, shall all with their wives and children be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month, Adar, of this present year. That they who of old and now also are malicious may in one day with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble. Yep. So right there, Yasharala, you can see that this book goes together. These two books. Okay, so read them in that order. And yeah, man, that's how the nations and Esau feels about us. And that's why they didn't want to add that part. Because they want to keep us in the dark as to who we are and who they are. But hey, the things of Esau have been made bare, like the scriptures say. Oh, how the things of Esau have been sought out. I think it's Obadiah. Yep, Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Okay, so yeah, you tried to remove this book from the scriptures, but guess what? Somehow, some way, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gave us brothers access to it again. And we put the pieces back together, and we were able to see, okay, who we are, all right, what you've been trying to do this whole time, and what you're going to try to do again. But guess what? If you read the end of the story, we win, okay? So this demon Hammon tried to set all the kingdoms against us. All right, all the kingdoms in the area and all the people against us. He said, hey, he's against all of you, so everybody come attack him. You know, the whole kingdom Medo-Persia was going to come and put us all to death. All right, but if you read the story, man, Esther and Mordecai prayed and fasted unto the Lord. You know, Esther put dung into her hair, dung and dirt, and wore sackcloth and ashes, or it was dung and ashes. All right, she humbled herself greatly. They all humbled themselves greatly and begged the Lord for mercy. That's what we need to be doing in these times, Yasharallah. Begging the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai for mercy. Because we don't know if we're of the elect for sure. That's why we say the hopeful elect. All right, but if we humble ourselves and call on the names, the true names of Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, all right, we will receive salvation from these devils, man. All right, and right here you see Hammon and all his children were the ones who were hung on the gallows. All right, and everybody, all nations in Medo-Persia, all peoples and races feared the Jews from then on. So we went from almost being destroyed to being feared and treated almost like royalty. All right? In a kingdom that was not ours. All right? So imagine what Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is getting ready to do in this wicked kingdom that's gonna fall, is prophesied to fall. All right? We know that after this kingdom falls, we're next. So it's not like what happened back then. It's gonna be actually better than what happened in the time of Esther. Because even back then, all right, yeah, you had Queen Esther and you had Mordecai, right, who became second in command, I believe, once Hammon was executed. But this time, we're not going to be second in command, man. We're going to be number one, baby. We're going to be over all these nations. Of course, we're second to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Of course. All right. Let's go to Esau is the end of the world. It's 2nd Esdras 6 and verse 9. Okay. All right. Just remember this, Yasharallah. This is the last captivity. After this, we have next. And all you nations, including Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, you're all going down, baby. 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right? So once we go through our trials and tribulation, Yahweh Shai is going to send these nukes, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and we're going to see him come in the clouds with great glory. All right? And we're going to be beamed up into those chariots, man. We're going to be beamed up into the chariots. Revelation 1 and 7, behold, he cometh with clouds, which we know the clouds are the chariots. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. See, because these nations all know who Yahushua is. And when he comes back as a black man, they're going to be shitting their fucking pants, Yasharallah. They're going to be shitting their pants. When Yahushua comes back, and then it's all going to make sense in their head. It's all going to make sense in their head. And that same great fear that fell upon them when we were living in the Medo-Persian Empire is going to fall upon them when Yahushua returns with his sword. All right? And he's going to put a lot of these nations to death, man. He's going to get rid of Esau through the nukes, and then we're going to get rid of the rest of these heathen through Yahushua. We're going to put them in order. All right? We won't be killing all of them, but we're going to kill a shitload of them, and we're going to put a lot of them to death. And then that's the kingdom of heaven right there. Yahushua, King David, the 144,000, and the rest of the elect are going to be ruling over the whole world. All right? So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. And until next time, I say shalom.